We'll, of course, continue to keep you updated on the shutdown. Now, though, we want to bring in a guest here in studio to talk about an event that's happening this Thursday. It's all via the YWCA, an organization that works to help survivors and victims of sexual and domestic violence. They're having a walk for the very first time this week that they're really working to spread the word about. So I'm joined here in studio by Dana Romero, who works with the YWCA. Dana, thanks so much for being here to talk about this event. This is really a first big deal for you guys. Let's back up, though, for just a moment. If anyone isn't familiar with the YWCA and what you guys do, it's really incredible work. We want to get the word out to those folks who may not have heard of you. So what do you guys do on a daily basis?
All right, so our organization, putting it plain, mainly focuses on the prevention and intervention of domestic and sexual violence. So, you know, what that looks like is a lot of different intervention services. So we have our advocacy and resource services, which what's amazing about that is there are crisis advocates that can help people safety plan. They can just be that listening ear, and it doesn't cost them a dime because it's grant funded, which is great. So if people were looking for a therapist and there's nobody available or they can't afford it, this is just like a great way to get some of that load off their chest. And then we have a legal advocate in that department, which she can help people with personal protection orders, custody paperwork, divorce paperwork, anything that involves that. And what's great about that is because of our complicated legal system, her being able to explain everything and just kind of guide them really takes a load off of the survivor's shoulders.
And I mean, just the couple of things that you rattled off there, really, you know, incredible resources to offer to people who are going through something so difficult, but to be able to offer these services, these resources, these outlets for free. Like you said, legal advice, therapy, you know, things that can oftentimes cost a lot of money for folks. In your experience working with the organization, you know, what is the, you know, I'm sure you could talk forever about this, but what's the outcome that you've been able to see or your team has seen in being able to connect people with the sorts of things you mentioned?
I mean, because we have different programs, there's going to be different outcomes, right? So I mentioned the advocacy center, but we also have like our shelter. So it's a short-term emergency shelter for those who are fleeing violent relationships. So sometimes that looks like just getting them safe, right? And then being able to help them get back to a place where they can stand on their own 2 feet. So sometimes it looks like that. Sometimes it looks like, you know, everything is fine, but they just need that support. So advocacy would be great. And sometimes it's housing, right? So we do have like a transitional housing program as well. So success could look like getting out of that program, being able to pay their own rent, being able to support themselves where they don't feel like they have to get back in that same cycle and go to an abuser. So really success looks very differently, you know, because we also have like our nurse examiner program. And that is there to provide medical forensic exams for those who have been sexually assaulted and also for those who have experienced domestic violence, which is actually fairly new when we started doing that full-time about 3 years ago. So that's amazing. And one fact about our nurse examiner program is that it was actually the first freestanding clinic like that in the entire state. So people have actually looked to us and we've trained them and helped open up other clinics like that.
Yeah, so, I mean, so all of this, you know, it's very different levels, different scenarios, obviously really difficult scenarios, but services and resources and ways to help that are so impactful, even if we're not, you know, talking about a happy situation, still one that hopefully is working to improve somebody's life. And as far as, you know, propelling into this event that's happening this week, it's on Thursday, it's a walk where you're encouraging anyone and everyone to come and join. What was kind of the catalyst for, you know, popping this event, you know, into your calendar, and you guys would like to host this for years and years to come? What was kind of the motivation?
Well, first off, honestly, is awareness. Like that's always a primary thing for us is awareness and supporting survivors. But the other thing is also fundraising, getting funds. I mean, to be fair, we all know that nonprofits need to raise money. And unfortunately, we are, with the current administration, federal funding cuts, you know, could cut funding like in half. You know, we're seeing like 20 to 30%, but because of that, we have to supplement with raising funds because we want to make sure that we continue to provide those services for survivors. And so we wanted to have another event, and it really is about intentionality, it being intentional in every step we take, because this is not a long walk, it's a short walk, but we want everybody, for every step that they take, just to remember the survivors and remember those that we have lost to domestic violence. So it's a combination, but you know, we really do want to raise funds so that we can continue the services that we've been doing for 125 years.
Yeah, a really long time. You guys are not a new organization. This is just a new event that's working to enhance your efforts. And like you said, I mean, and we're in the midst, of course, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, so this, you know, fits with the month that we're in right now. But like you said, supporting those who have survived a horrible situation, and also, you know, remembering and honoring those that sadly we've lost. It's kind of a joint cause that you guys are working toward. And so we have the details about the walk that we can pop up and talk over. So it's this Thursday, the 16th. It's in the evening, 6 to 8. It starts at the YWCA West Central Michigan, and you can register online for free. And then you're hoping that folks, you guys have already raised some money. You're hoping that folks, if they're able to, can also contribute to that, because like you said, you guys do great work, but it takes money to offer all of these services.
We never want to force anybody,
right?
But you know, this is how nonprofits.
This is how it works.
This is how it works. So we want people to give with their heart, right? And so the biggest thing is for us to put that message out. You know, because by them supporting us, they're making a tangible impact on somebody's life. So yes, at the event, they'll have an opportunity to donate there. They don't have to do it ahead of time. But really, like, tell your friends, tell your family, like, show up. I'd love to have a surprise of like way more attendees than we planned on.
Anybody can show up, anybody's
We'll
welcome.
figure it out, you know, but the more the merrier, for sure,
And for those who also may want to show up, you know, potentially they are a survivor, or they know someone who is, or maybe they have lost someone to domestic violence. You know, I know that can be daunting to show up to an event and potentially talk about that. What is your word to them on just, I'm sure, such an embracing culture that will be, you know, present at the event on Thursday?
Well, I do want to say that if there are survivors or family members of those who've been passed, or friends or whatever, if they're feeling apprehensive about coming because it may be triggering, which is totally understandable, we will have staff present to be able to kind of be there for them. Like, some advocates will be there, and really any of the staff will be able to support those that come. So we want them to feel safe and be included. That's the whole purpose.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, you know, this is the first time for this, but you guys would like to make this an annual thing, have this year after year. So just hoping to get the word out about the event on Thursday. Anything I missed? Anything else just to let folks know about this week?
It is, well, I'll mention that it is our 125th anniversary.
Yeah.
So that is
big deal.
Super, super exciting. So stay tuned, because we might have some more things in the works.
It's a teaser for next time she comes on the show.
So stay tuned.
Awesome. Dana, thanks so much for coming in. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.